Have you heard the whispers? The rumors swirling around Silicon Valley? It's a story about ambition, unimaginable power, and a sudden, shocking stop. Today, we're diving deep into the mystery surrounding Google's quantum computing project and asking the big question. Why would Google allegedly shut down what could be the most powerful computer ever created? And why might CEO Sundar Pichai be absolutely devastated by this? Let's start from the beginning. Back in 2019, Google made a monumental announcement. Their quantum computer, named Sycamore, had achieved something called quantum supremacy. This means it performed a specific calculation in just 200 seconds that would take the world's most powerful supercomputer at the time an estimated 10,000 years to complete. Think about that. 200 seconds versus 10,000 years. This wasn't just a step forward, it was a giant leap for humanity, promising to revolutionize everything from medicine and materials science to finance and artificial intelligence. Imagine a world where we could develop new life-saving drugs in a fraction of the time, create ultra-efficient batteries for clean energy, or build financial models that predict market crashes with pinpoint accuracy. This was the future Google was building, a future powered by the bizarre and wonderful laws of quantum mechanics. Sundar Pichai himself was at the forefront, championing this new era of computing. It was Google's crown jewel, a symbol of their technological dominance and a beacon for the future. So, what happened? Why did the triumphant music suddenly stop? The official line from Google is, well, there isn't really an official line about a shutdown. The project is still technically active, but reports and inside whispers suggest a significant shift, a scaling back, a shuttering of the very division that achieved this historic breakthrough. The original team that built Sycamore, based in Santa Barbara, was reportedly disbanded. Key researchers have left the company. The narrative changed from world-changing breakthroughs to internal restructuring. This is where things get really interesting. Why would a company on the verge of mastering the next technological frontier suddenly pull the plug? The story floating around is as fascinating as it is alarming. It's a tale of a power so immense it became terrifying. Let's talk about what a fully realized quantum computer could do. We mentioned drug discovery and climate change solutions, and those are the positive aspects, but there's a dark side. A powerful quantum computer could, in theory, break most of the encryption that protects our digital world. Your bank accounts, government secrets, private messages, everything that relies on current encryption standards could become an open book. This is known as the quantum apocalypse. For years, it's been a far-off theoretical threat. But what if Google, with Sycamore, got a little too close to making it a reality? What if they were on the cusp of creating a master key to the entire digital kingdom? The implications are staggering. It wouldn't just be a tool for good. In the wrong hands, it could cause global chaos. Now picture yourself as Sundar Pichai. You're the CEO of one of the most powerful companies on Earth. You've invested billions of dollars and immense intellectual capital into a project that promises to solve humanity's biggest problems. Your team has a breakthrough that puts you decades ahead of any competitor. You're on the verge of changing the world forever. And then, you're faced with an impossible choice. The first theory is that the power was simply too great to control. Perhaps the engineers and scientists at Google realized they were opening Pandora's box. They saw the potential for misuse, the catastrophic risk to global security, and decided the only responsible thing to do was to stop. It's a noble idea, suggesting a level of corporate responsibility we rarely see. In this scenario, Pichai's devastation wouldn't be about failure, but about the painful necessity of shelving a dream to protect the world. He would be the man who held the future in his hands and had to let it go. But there's another, more cynical theory. What if external forces stepped in? Imagine the moment government agencies realized that a private company was about to create a technology that could undermine national security on a global scale. It's not a stretch to think that agencies like the NSA would take a very, very keen interest. Could Google have been quietly asked to halt their public-facing research? Maybe the project wasn't shut down at all, but instead it was taken dark, moved from the public domain into the classified world of national security. This would explain the sudden silence, the team's dispersal, and the lack of clear communication. The research would continue, but behind a thick veil of secrecy, controlled not by a public company, but by the state. If this is true, Sundar Pichai's devastation takes on a whole new meaning. His company's greatest achievement, a multi-billion-dollar project, would have been effectively nationalized, snatched from his control. He would be left to explain the disappearance of his flagship project without being able to tell the real story. He would have to watch as something he built was taken away, all while maintaining a public facade. This would be a humiliating blow for any CEO, a sign that even a titan like Google is ultimately subservient to the powers that be. And there's a third possibility, one that's a bit more practical, but no less dramatic for Google. What if quantum supremacy was a bit of a mirage? The problem with quantum computers is something called decoherence. Quantum states are incredibly fragile. The slightest vibration or temperature change can cause the quantum bits, or qubits, to lose their information, leading to errors. While Sycamore proved it could work for a few seconds on a specific problem, maybe Google hit a wall. Perhaps they realized that scaling this technology up to a truly useful, error-corrected quantum computer was going to be exponentially more difficult and expensive than they ever imagined. Maybe the challenges were so immense that the path forward wasn't clear, and the billions in investment were yielding diminishing returns. In the world of business, even for a company as rich as Google, projects need to show a path to profitability. If this were the case, shutting down the original team would be a pragmatic, if painful, business decision. It's an admission that they might have declared victory too soon. For Pichai, this would be a different kind of devastation. It would be the devastation of a grand vision colliding with harsh reality. It would mean admitting that the mountain they set out to climb was simply too high, at least for now. This would be a public failure, a hit to Google's reputation as the ultimate innovator. So, which is it? A responsible act of self-censorship, a forced takeover by shadowy government agencies, or a pragmatic admission of a technical dead end? The truth is likely a complex mix of all three. The technology is undeniably powerful and dangerous. Governments are undoubtedly watching with extreme interest. And the technical challenges are absolutely monumental. What we do know is that the race for quantum computing hasn't stopped. Other companies like IBM and Microsoft, as well as entire nations, are pouring billions into their own programs. The quantum Pandora's box is being worked on in labs all over the world. Google may have paused, or they may have just moved their work into the shadows, but the quantum future, with all its promises and perils, is still coming. The story of Sycamore serves as a powerful cautionary tale. It shows us that we are entering an era where our technological capabilities might outpace our wisdom to manage them. For Sundar Pichai, the supposed shutdown represents a crisis point, a moment where the limitless ambition of Silicon Valley crashed against the hard limits of reality, ethics, and power. Whether he's devastated by a lost dream, a stolen prize, or a failed gamble, one thing is certain. The world changed in those 200 seconds back in 2019. And we are all still dealing with the aftershocks. What do you think really happened to Google's quantum computer? Was it too powerful, a government secret, or just too difficult to build? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content that explores the fascinating and sometimes frightening frontiers of technology.